Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Joining BJ Rains today is KTVB Sports Director Jay Tust. Check him out on Twitter at KTVB Sports Guy and make sure to check out KTVB.com. Now, here's Jay Tust and BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing? Happy Tuesday to you here at Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com. Right off the bat, Jay Tust, our first comment, okay, bro, chill. Tusty Tuesday is my favorite. So,
what up now? Let's go.
Jay Tust, sports director over at KTVB, joins us for his first of two weekly appearances here. Jay is here Tuesdays and Fridays at 9 a.m. We're talking Boise State athletics. If you found this for the first time, we appreciate it. Make sure you're subscribing to the YouTube channel. You can do that at the bottom of the screen or at youtube.com/Bronco Nation News. If you're on Facebook or Twitter, we appreciate you watching, but the easiest way is to flip over to YouTube. This may at some point become a YouTube-only broadcast here, so be prepared for that and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Trusty Tusty Tuesday. Sam, we are going to get into this today. It looks like UNM did a stellar job of investigating that baseball situation. That is on the docket for today. We're not going to lead with that. We're going to talk about actual basketball, but that is on the list today. Jeff Grammer, the Albuquerque Journal, who, by the way, I'll just say, Jeff Grammer is one of the top reporters in the Mountain West. So if you have any anger with the situation, take it out with the UNM administration or the baseball team or the security guards or those that put the statements in. Jeff Grammer is just doing his job and put in for the public records request and wrote the story from the info he was given. So Jeff Grammer deserves no fault in any of your frustration for that. But yes, it was sarcasm about the baseball team there. But Jay, we're going to start with actual basketball. Boise State got the win over UNLV. It was a little closer than some might have thought, but at this point it's kind of survive and advance. And Sunday night, they were able to get the job done.
Yeah, BJ, over the on Saturday, Boise State picked up a win in Quad 2 without even playing, right? So a win without even playing. Tonight, they got a chance to pick up another win without even playing. You know where I'm going with this?
I was looking at the schedule tonight. Let me go back to the.
It doesn't actually have to do with quads. I believe it has to do with the Mountain West Conference tournament, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here.
Okay.
But right now, San Jose State is 7-7. They play Nevada tonight. Boise State is 11-3 in Mountain West play, meaning if San Jose State were to lose, I believe that means Boise State would lock up a first-round bye tonight, right? They got a 4-game lead on them. San Jose State would only have 3 games left. Boise State has 4 games left. I think that would be enough to clinch that bye for Boise State.
That probably would be correct. Yes.
Yeah.
So you're saying that would guarantee them because their first round game would be someone that's quad 2.
It would yeah. I mean, essentially. Well, actually, would it be quad? Yeah, it would be quad neutral site.
Neutral site is 100.
100. So that'd be on the cusp of it, I guess, because it would probably be San Jose State potentially. So we will see, but at the very least, it would likely clinch a first-round bye. It depends on how it all plays out, but they wouldn't have to worry about playing in the first round at the very
Yeah, that'd be very nice. Yeah, there's 4 Mountain West games tonight on the docket. It's a fun time of year to check that out, and that is a big game, Nevada and San Jose State for numerous reasons. But if you're a Boise State fan, you want to get a peek at San Jose State. You'll be seeing them on the road on Saturday. As Tanner says, you want to get Nevada and Utah State into the top 30. Both are so close, and maybe a big win for Nevada there too could help push Nevada back towards number 30.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because you're like, if San Jose State wins, then it also provides Boise State a little bit of breathing room when it comes to the Mountain West standings, right? Like Boise State would have a stranglehold on that number 2 seed at the Mountain West Conference tournament, maybe more, but at least the number 2 seed because they'd have a 2-game advantage on Nevada. And I remind you, Boise State still has to beat San Diego State to get a potential head-to-head tiebreaker with Nevada because the Broncos and Wolfpack are 1-1 against each other this year. That tiebreaker is the highest placed team in the Mountain West Conference standings. So having a 2-game lead over Nevada would be very, very nice. But then again, if Nevada won, you're right, it could potentially strengthen the schedule. For me, I think that Boise State's going to get that first-round bye regardless. I would probably rather have a little bit of breathing room in the Mountain West standings, to be honest with you, because it's looking like there could – the way that it is starting to shape up now, you probably do want to be potentially that 2 seed. And not to look too far down the road, BJ, but I forgot how much of an advantage it is to actually be the 1 seed at the Mountain West Conference tournament if you make the championship game, because you're going to tip off a game at, isn't that 9:00 Pacific time on Saturday, I believe, and then you got to turn around and play early in the afternoon. Or sorry,
it's Friday is at 8. It's
Yes.
6 and 8:30 are the 2 times. Usually doesn't start on time. So the second game will start at 8:45 probably, and then you got to turn around. You'll get back to your hotel at midnight, and then that game is at 3:00 on Saturday afternoon.
That is a really tight turnaround. I know we're only talking about like a 2-3 hour difference, but I even remember last year when we were covering those games and leaving after the second semifinal on Friday, man, it was like halftime, and you were thinking like, gosh, it is getting late. And the Boise State men's basketball team was already back at their hotel, So
Well, there's a lot of advantages. You also play at noon on Thursday, and then you get all the way till 6:00 on Friday. If you play, in the later games on Thursday night, you turn around and play Friday night. The 3 seed is the worst because you play the first 2 nights at 9:30 Boise time both nights. So we're definitely hoping to avoid the 3 seed. Definitely hoping to avoid the 3 seed. But the standings are kind of starting to come into shape a little bit, Jay. We are broadcasting, by the way, from the Cutwater Spirits mobile studios. More than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails. Make sure you pick one up at your local gas station or a grocery store. And Jay, I do want to look back at that game against UNLV for a second because it was a win. And, if they don't bang in a couple threes, maybe you win by 9 or 10, you feel a little better about it. I don't know. But it just seems like in the last 2 or 3 weeks, we haven't seen Boise State play like a great game like they did for most of the Wyoming game, but then let them back in it, with some points late in the game. I guess that's a good sign because you feel like Boise State still has another gear they can go to. They haven't played great, but they're still winning games, which is obviously the most important thing. And Leon Rice said that. He's like, hey, it's the best quality to have to be able to win games. And that's kind of the one quality that matters. But overall, it just seems like they're winning games. They're making plays when they have to, but they haven't put together that great, perfect type game in a while. And you could say, well, that's just who they are at this point. That's a concern. Or you could say they got another gear to get to. They're winning games without playing at their best, and that's a good sign.
I think that one thing that stands out to me, I guess, with the way that they're playing right now is if you break it down, some of their offensive efficiency numbers are still they're still fine. But for a team that has really played, solid defense all year, there have been a couple things over the last, 2 games that I would say makes you raise an eyebrow. Colorado State almost shot 50% from the field. UNLV was up around almost 45%, but even bigger than a bigger deal than that. Colorado State made 13 threes. I understand that some of those went in a lucky way, shape, or form, or got a good bounce, whatever. But at the end of the day, they still made 13 threes. UNLV follows that up with 11 threes. Opponents are shooting 50% from 3 on a pretty high volume basis over the last 2 games against Boise State. I have a feeling that is going to be an area Boise State really addresses prior even to New Mexico tomorrow, because New Mexico obviously can shoot it a little bit, but Boise State I mean, that has been almost their bread and butter all season long, is their ability to kind of defend the three. They did rank number 1 in the Mountain West for a long, long time, but after the last 2 games, they've slipped to 3, allowing 30%. It was only 28% earlier, prior to 2 games ago. So they got to get back to doing what they do well, and one of those things is defending the three a little bit better.
Yeah, no doubt about it. By the way, the American Conference did just release their football schedule, and that impacts the Boise State and Memphis game, but that game's still slated for Saturday as of now. I don't know what the chances are if they went during their TV package, if that could change, but I know some folks were wondering if that Memphis game could move to Thursday or Friday. It is on Saturday still, according to the Memphis TV schedule. But back to the UNLV game, Jay, where are you big picture, I guess, in terms of the team and how they're playing? And like I said, I don't feel like they've played great, and maybe that's a good sign. Or the fact that they're in they're winning games, which is, I guess, what matters. But I do still feel like there's improvement that could be had.
Yeah, I super encouraged by Lucas Milner the other night. I'll say that.
No doubt.
And, I mean, they really could use that. And just kind of going back and watching some of my highlights with Lucas, he really did have some nice moments and played with some confidence. And when he's running down the court, man, or setting screens and stuff, he is a guy that looks different for Boise State. I mean, he's a pretty big body dude that looks like he could be physical, And so if they can get a little bit of run out of him off the bench every game, that's going to be massive. And especially come the Mountain West tournament, where you're going to have a guy that's going to steal some minutes from your starters at some point in time, because those guys are really, really good. And I also think we're getting close to the time of the year that you're just going to ride your best players regardless. And there's teams that right now they might even go 7, 8, 9 deep, but 9 and 8 are probably going to start losing minutes once it comes real crunch time, right? So I think that UNLV came ready to play, kind of that nothing to lose attitude, and they made some shots, and because of that, the game it was a little closer than probably many in Bronco Nation anticipated. What was kind of funny that didn't hit me until like later that night when I was driving home, BJ, is there were some controversial free throws at the end of the Wyoming game, right? That dictated maybe the over-under, covered the spread. Right at the end of the UNLV game, it was 71-69, and at least the over-under that I had before the game was 140.5.
The spread was also either 2.5, 3, or 3.5. And I guess. No, the second half maybe is what I'm thinking about.
The spread was a little higher. But the over
the second half spread maybe, but yeah, okay.
The over under was 140.5, and they call a foul on the opposite side of the court with 3 seconds to go. Shaver goes and makes both free throws, and it pushes the over.
That's crazy.
I don't know how that's kind of not a bad beat. How many times do you see a foul called all the way on the opposite side of the court away from the ball with 3 seconds left? Seriously,
you were sitting next to me. We're like, who was the foul on?
Yeah. Because we thought like the UNLV player dove. I can't remember who had the ball. Was it Max?
Might have been. Or
I can't remember who had the ball, but the UNLV player dives at whoever has the ball coming up over the right side of center court. And you and I both look at each other like, where was the foul? He didn't touch him. Like, you can dive, but if you don't touch him, like, it's not a foul. And then they end up calling a foul on the left side of the court, like away from the ball. I'm not trying to spark any conspiracies, but that's a weird call, man. That's a weird call. Jace had the ball. Thank you, Shane. I think it was Jace. Yeah, that's a weird call. It's a weird call.
What another kind of storyline? What do you make of Tanner saying Abbo's been in a slump? Need to get him going again. Abbo was cold. Mark says, where are you on Abbo?
I'm kind of right there with those guys. I mean, he has been a little quiet lately. It's the plus minus thing. It can be you can either use it to justify something or not. I guess I don't know, but Buzo played 31 minutes last against UNLV. He was 1 of 7 from the floor, had 4 turnovers, and yet Boise State was plus 12 when he was on the floor. So
he played great defense. I went back and watched the tape, by
yeah.
the way. He does deserve a little credit for his defense on Harkless.
I agree, and Harkless is a dude that can go, and I don't think that should be overlooked. I think that when they're talking about slumps right now, that the question is about what he's doing on the offensive end. And he was okay at Colorado State. He got off to a cold start, but had an outstanding second half. Scored all 15 of his points in the second half. I think he was 5 of 10 from the floor, 2 of 4 from 3. Again in the second half against Colorado State. So he played really big there. But if you look at his last 5 games here combined, he's 2 of 20 from 3.
And I will say the 2 were both pretty big against Colorado State. He had a couple of huge threes stem the tide a little bit against Colorado State. He had some big shots in that game. But
so 2 of 20 from 3, 2 of 6 against Colorado State. Either way, for a guy that was, he was lights out, shooting darn near 50% from 3.
Which is kind of where I'm going with the fact that they haven't there's still another year to get to. They're winning these games where Abo's not doing much like you would expect at some point. When he goes off for the 20-point game or whatever that we know he can do, I would think that's a good sign that you're still winning when Abo is 1 of 7 for 2 points and
I would think so too. And again, there are, Buzo naturally gets compared to Abu just because I think that they play a similar role on the team, and Abu graduated, Kijab graduated, and Buzo was his replacement, right? And so, man, when it came to getting stops last year or signing, tough defensive assignments to guard an offensive player, oftentimes Abu drew that last year. He frustrated Matt Bradley and stuff. So even if Buzo isn't necessarily scoring at a crazy clip, he's going to have some tough defensive assignments, especially down at the Mountain West tournament. And so that certainly can't be overlooked. But as you're saying, BJ, I couldn't agree more, man. There was a time there in January where everybody was shooting it and everything was rolling, but you're kind of you're fooling yourself if you think that's just the way that it's always going to go. Basketball is like baseball. There are just laws of averages. And if you shoot 60% one game, there is a game where you're going to shoot 10% or 0% that's coming for you. It is what it is. And so that's maybe kind of what Buzo is going through a little bit right now, because if you look at what he's still shooting on the season, it's still a healthy 39.1% from 3. That's still a really good clip. If you look at the league leader, Stephen Ashworth, is shooting 39.2% from 3. And he's the qualified league leader. I think we got to have a talk, by the way, with how they figure out league leaders for 3-pointers, because it's the same metric, or how am I going to say this? You have to average 2.5 threes made per game to qualify for the league leaders on 3-point field goal percentage in the Mountain West. There's only one guy doing it, and it's Stephen Ashworth, right? To where
usually it's minutes or games or shot attempts. There's got to be some other way. Yeah,
there's got to be some other way, because the league leaders for free throws is also 2.5 attempts or 2.5 makes per game. A free throw make and a 3-point make that's not a 1-to-1 thing right there. So, because if they figured out a way to adjust it a little bit, BJ, and why it kind of matters is that a guy like Max Rice would be. I haven't gone through and seen what everybody else's numbers are, but Max Rice could darn well be leading the league in 3-point field goal percentage if they altered it a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Hey, I want to talk about Marcus Shaver, his accomplishment, and also what he dealt with on the court the other night. But I do want to thank rowpaint.com. Take advantage of their deal right now, folks. 15% off the interior painting of your home if you use the promo code BNN15. BNN15 is the promo code. They're also scheduling it for the spring for the concrete coatings. We've got it in our garage, in our back patio. I highly recommend their concrete coatings, and they re-upped as the title sponsor for another year. So please return the favor to them and consider them for your next painting or concrete coating project. Lithia Ford of Boise, if you're looking to trade up, Lithia Ford of Boise will give you a top dollar for your used vehicle. They'll also buy your used vehicle on the spot, make you a cash offer, even if you don't want to buy from them. Not many car dealerships will do that these days. So if you find a better offer elsewhere, I doubt it. You can go in and buy an F-150 like our family did. We're so happy with our vehicle. But if you do find a better vehicle elsewhere, you can go in and they'll still make you a cash offer on the spot for their vehicle. Get more information at LithviaFordBoise.com. Idaho Central Credit Union, the official bank of Bronco Nation News and the Reigns family. So happy that our family made the switch. Their mobile e-branch online banking is so easy to use, and you can transfer money, pay bills, direct deposit, pay off your loan. It's so easy to use, and we're so thankful we made the switch. You can do the same. Idaho Central Credit Union. Get more information. Do it over 500,000 Idahoans have done, and make the switch at ICCU.com. If you're looking for a job, how about Transportation Compliance Service? They can help you out every step of the way to get into the trucking industry. All the permits and things you need, they can do it for you in no time. And they'll have you out towing that load, whether it be the big rig on your screen, the Amazon truck in your neighborhood, anything in between. If you're looking for a new career change, trucking industry is booming right now. Get more information at transcomservice.com. And if you're looking for some new Boise State gear, check out the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. They got some great deals going on right now. All the NIL shirts and things, and Degenhardt shaver, all that's good stuff. The coaches' sideline apparel, the new retro jersey, logo, so many hats. Just a great selection at the Blue and Orange Store, right there at the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall. But if you're not in the area, you can go to theblueandorangestore.com and get 40% free shipping, or $40, gets you free shipping at theblueandorangestore.com. It's a great deal. Hopefully you will take advantage of that. I want to get to the New Mexico thing as well, Jeff Grammer's article, but I do quickly want to mention Marcus Shaver Jr. He's been in and out of the lineup, dealing with some injuries. He comes back the other day, Jay. He was pretty frustrated in the middle of the second half there. He was kind of bickering at some of his teammates to pass him the ball. He was not happy. There was one possession where he just stood on the side and didn't even do anything, and then the teammates kind of purposely didn't pass him the ball. It was pretty interesting to see. We haven't seen much of that this year in the last couple of years, where guys were a little unhappy on the court. And I saw it with my own eyes, and he was clearly upset. He said, pass me the bleeping ball at one point. He got pulled from the game. Someone tried to slap his hand. He kind of brushed their hand away. He walked behind the bench and kind of just stood there and sulked, and then sat on the bench and he was also mad at didn't get a no call from the officials. The possession after nobody would pass to him, he got the ball and was like, I'm not giving this up, and drove straight into the lane and did not get a call, and was mad at the official. He gets pulled from the game. He goes and sits on the bench and is kind of sulking, staring into space, looked really upset. And then he comes back in the game and was a difference maker down the stretch, making those 6 free throws in the last minute. I thought it was a very interesting observation. And then just the fact that he was able to kind of put that behind him and lock the game down at the free throw line, while also surpassing 1,000 points in the game as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, he got it out of the way really early, earned a trip to the free throw line right out the gate, basically, and got it out of the way, which we haven't seen Marcus Shaver go to the free throw line enough, not due to his attempts to get there, but I don't remember seeing him shoot a free throw like early in a game before.
Yeah,
he just hasn't had a lot go his way in terms of that. But anyways, yeah, that was kind of weird. Straight up, BJ, man, I was shooting and I was trying to edit because we had a tight turnaround, and I kind of missed a little bit of that frustration, and you brought it to my attention. So they kind of dismissed it after the game, kind of a non-issue. Leon says that, he wants his team to be a player-led team, and so it didn't really seem like he had much of an issue with whatever
Marcus Shaver did admit, though, that he did it, and then he said it can't happen, and I need to be better.
Might have got the best of his emotions there for a minute, I think is what he said. And usually, I think that's the thing that's kind of that grabbed my attention about it, is just because usually Marcus is a guy that, he's very steady. Like, he kind of is like an emotionalist player for the most part.
And he's going to be key down the stretch. Those free throws were big. He's going to be playing a lot of minutes. And, Leon said after the game he's getting healthier. It was cramps the other day at Colorado State, not the ankle. So you hope the ankle is slowly getting better. But they're in the midst of 4 games in 10 days here, Jay. A lot of basketball, and Marcus Shaver Jr. is going to be key for them, obviously, down the stretch. And 3 games in 3 days. You hope that happens. That means that they're in the championship game. But I did want to turn our attention in the final couple minutes here. There was an article from Jeff Grammer looking back at the baseball incident. The video of Leon Rice going off that kind of went national, Jay, I checked, is up to almost 115,000 views. The tweet has been seen nearly 500,000 times of Leon Rice going off on the administration and things. And Jeff Grammer, Leon Rice said, I hope they look into it. And Jeff Grammer looked into it and went and got the police incident reports, or the UNM reports, and the communication between the Mountain West Conference via a public records request. And According to the report in Jeff Kramer's article, it says witness accounts in a report New Mexico submitted to the Mountain West Conference, which include police officers in the area, seem to indicate the closest anything came to a physical altercation was when Rice himself, quote, responded by pinning Lobo baseball player Cam Walton to the wall by going chest to chest with him after the baseball players were talking trash and booing his team. Basically, the report found that New Mexico baseball players didn't really do anything wrong in their eyes, and that they the article kind of says Leon Rice was the one that did the chest bumping with the guy to try to get him out of there. What's your take to all this? And we'll see if Leon Rice addresses it today. But obviously, Leon Rice was very fired up about it after the game. It says administrators acknowledged to Rice in person that night the team never should have been in the area. But witnesses at the scene told the Journal that night it never appeared as though a fight was close to happening. And then it has the incidents. There was I should mention there was a quick Jordan or someone, I think it was Jordan asked earlier, who was attributing the quote about the pinning. It is in the New Mexico report that which Coach Leon Rice responded by pinning Cam to the wall by going chest to chest with him. No baseball player reacted to the action of Coach Rice, then made his way through the hallway in a heated exchange with the game official. Obviously this is coming up because the two teams play tomorrow. We'll see if the football team is lining the entrance for New Mexico tomorrow night, maybe when they try to enter the arena. But what's your take on all of this? And at least on there's always two sides to the story, and I'll just get this out of there, Jeff. Like the marketing director and two baseball players were apparently the only ones that were quoted in this, according to some other than some security guards, and you would assume that they're probably going to paint New Mexico in a little better light. But at least what we're seeing in the article here, a little one-sided, I guess. What's your take?
Straight up, BJ, I wasn't there. You would have a better take on this than me. I do think the article said that the team was there. They got there early.
It was somebody's first game or something that was doing that, and it says that they were not brought them down to the tunnel too early. Yes. Okay,
so was that who? So there was some part of the staff for the marketing.
It was it was a marketing intern or somebody that was working their first game. Let me see if I can find the exact thing, but it said that it was that they came too early into the area and they admitted they were not supposed to be there. But they say even though they were there, that not much actually happened, is what they're saying on the New Mexico side.
Obviously,
they did admit trash talking and booing.
Yeah. I think that there are places where, as an athlete, you anticipate all that. You're on the court. Some of it might not be kind, but I feel like there are places you probably anticipate that. The right outside the locker room is not. That's probably a place you normally think can be a little bit of a safe haven. That if you get to, you feel like you could be okay. So I don't know whatever side of this you're on is the side you're going to lean to. If you root for New Mexico, you're going to see that Coach Rice apparently pinned a guy against the wall, according to that report. If you're on Boise State side, you're going to be like, why were they there? Like, how could that mistake happen? Like being right outside of an opposing team's locker room, yelling at them. It doesn't seem like that is the best practice, and New Mexico acknowledged that. So, I think that it's not a good scenario. I don't know how much, honestly, more I can say on it besides, Leon covered Leon Rice a little while now, and he, for the most part, he's an intense competitor, like he is, but he's also a guy that seems pretty happy. And so for him to say that he's never experienced anything like that in his 35 years of coaching, I don't know. I can't completely dismiss that. That's just a tough situation to be in. So.
Well, then you have other fan bases now jumping into this report and trying to, turn the shade back on Boise State. There was one. Let me see if I can find it here. Yet another comparison as to why the Boise State basketball team is known for its antics during its games as much as it's known for its talent. is what one opposing fan base said. A actual reporter that covers Utah State said made some reference to a lack of class from Leon Rice. So, I mean, other fan bases and media members are jumping on this because, for better or worse, Leon does have a reputation of obviously, talking to the officials a lot. And he does like to, he's pretty animated at times during games. And I think a lot of fans around the league aren't huge fans of his, especially right now when they're winning, right? I mean, it's easy to dislike the first place team and the team that beats your team regularly. And that's happening a lot. And so
I would love to know, BJ, I would love to know if Leon has changed the way that he talks to officials or how frequently these last 2 years.
I don't think so.
Okay, so then why all of a sudden is it a problem these last 2 years?
I wonder what the standings show. Yeah, interesting. But I mean, I do think that's part of it. Boise State's winning. Boise State's the easy team to dislike. Leon does do a lot of, I don't know if complaining is the right word, but has a lot of talking to the officials on the sidelines. If you're the opposing team, I could see how you would not like, maybe if you don't know Leon Rice, I could see why maybe on the opposing team you might think that. I mean, he's a great guy, awesome guy. Anyone that knows him thinks he's just awesome dude. So it's the wrong persona of him, but from afar I could maybe see that. And then obviously something like this where the report says the only physical contact was Rice pinning the guy to the wall, you're going to jump on that and all of a sudden say, see, told you, he's a whining whatever. I mean, it's predictable, right?
Yeah,
it's predictable.
Yeah, I got a feeling we're going to try to sweep this under the rug and get after a game tomorrow because now that's all that really matters, and hopefully this incident never happens again.
If Coach Rice's actions were so egregious, why did New Mexico do nothing in response? Telling Boise State at the top of the league now going to take those darts. It's always the intern. But so you can go read the full article from Jeff Kramer. And again, we probably have to ask Leon Rice today about it, but I doubt he'll say much. He's probably going to want to just move on. But final thing, Jay, there is a game tomorrow night, a rather big game at Extra Mile Arena. Boise State is projected to win the game, according to Ken Palm, by 6 points, 76-60, 70% victory percentage for Boise State. I don't know if anyone feels that confident going into the game that they're going to win by 6 points, but what's your take on the matchup tomorrow night and the impact in the standings here?
BJ, I'm never a guy that, I mean, hey, what you do with your hard-earned money is 100% up to you. If you don't want to go to a basketball game, then that's fine. Tomorrow night could be special, though. It really could. There's a lot at stake. New Mexico's a really good team. Boise State is inching closer and closer to, maybe defending their Mountain West championship or at least keeping, within an arm's length of San Diego State. There are massive implications riding on the line tomorrow night, and it should be an awesome, awesome game. Jalen House versus Marcus Shaver Jr. You'll see Jamal Mashburn Jr., the Mountain West leading scorer, in action. Tyson Dagenhart, who should be one of, if not the front runner for Mountain West Conference Player of the Year. I don't know how much more to tell you. I mean, Boise State is inching on maybe a top 25 appearance in the AP poll. Like this is a big time college basketball game tomorrow night, and it's in the City of Trees.
Yeah, I mean, they're all big. All four down the stretch are going to be huge. It starts tomorrow night. You want to this final 4-game stretch. I think 3-1 for sure gets you in the NCAA tournament. And depending on as long as the one is not San Diego State, good chance it could get you at least a share of the title as well. And that starts tomorrow night, 8:30. That sucks a little bit that it's an 8:30 tip off. But if you're a basketball fan, I don't think that really should be that big of a deal. Drink an extra cup of coffee, have an extra cut water, be ready to go at 8:30. And I think it's going to be an awesome atmosphere, an awesome night. And then it'll be even bigger next week against San Diego State. So we need to get the students to show up. I was a little disappointed in the students. Boise State's been really making a push. They're not going to come out and publicly criticize the students, but that second and third level, the entire stadium was pretty much full except for the second and third level of the student section. So they got to find a way somehow. I mean, there's 20-something thousand students that go to Boise State. You got to be able to get more than 1,000 to come to some of these games. So we'll see if they show up tomorrow night. What gimmicks or giveaways Boise State can do to try to get the students to show up, but should be a lot of fun. Jay, appreciate your time as always.
Yeah.
We'll be watching KTVB. Hopefully folks will go check out all of your coverage, check you out on Twitter at KTVB Sports Guy, and follow us at Bronco Nation News as well. We will talk to you Friday morning as we hopefully are talking about a Boise State win, and then we'll be setting the stage for another big road game. Hard to believe we're saying that, a big road game at San Jose State coming up on Saturday. But 4 Mountain West games tonight, including that San Jose State-Nevada game. That probably is the headliner. So enjoy the Mountain West action tonight. And we'll talk to you all tomorrow. Leon Rice is talking today, a couple players as well. So they'll have full coverage of that on KTVB tonight, and then we'll have it up on our YouTube channel as well. So have a great rest of your day, everybody. We appreciate you. Take care, and we'll talk to you later. Bronco Nation News Live, Bronco Nation.